How's it going, gang? Welcome back to the Misplay for Game Podcast. As always, I'm Andrew or Elixir.
Hello, gang. It's your boy Tom. Back at it again on a Saturday morning this time, but at least we're back on Saturday.
Yeah.
Damn, bro, we turned into like Saturday morning Power Rangers. You know what I'm saying? Like, forget about adult cartoon on like a Monday evening. We are like primetime kid television.
How many kids do you think actually watch us? How many like young Digimon enjoyers are also podcast grinders?
I don't know. I feel like modern kids just don't have the attention span. Like if there's nothing happening on screen, they're like freaking out.
Speaking of, follow the TikTok.
Yeah, that will get some stuff uploaded to it as I do that thing where I catch up all of my YouTube shorts, Misplay for Game Pod. But yeah, how's it going, fellas?
Hey, it's all right. Not too bad. Beats being a Brazilian Digimon fan today. You see that he got Twitter banned? That's pretty funny.
Yeah. How else will the LATAM provider?
Yeah, all of the I feel so bad for that guy. Yeah, so this is not really Digimon news, but like Twitter has been banned in Brazil, and if you use a VPN, they're gonna fine you a ton of money.
Why did it get banned?
Basically like misinformation protection stuff, and then failure to show up to court hearings.
Yeah. Like misinformation, like presidential misinformation in Japan is in Brazil is pretty not okay. For some reason, awesome. That's not just like the standard in all the other countries. But it's really funny because it's kind of like how like in anime where you see a character and they're like, oh, we're gonna give you this whole backstory, and they're getting killed within the next 2 episodes. That was Brazilian Miku. She was everywhere. We're getting to see all these Miku adventures, and then they killed her in Brazil. Unlucky.
They killed Miku in Brazil.
She never had a chance.
What was your favorite regional Miku that you saw?
I like the Gear Miku. I think that was posted like yesterday, and it was like Miku doing like the Luffy pose when he goes into Gear second. That one was good.
I saw Midwest Miku that made me laugh. She had like plaid and fucking what's it called, like denim skirt, and I was like, dang, I dated 3 of this woman in high school.
That's awesome.
The British ones have been very, very funny. Her like squatting outside of Greg's.
Yeah, Greg's Miku is peak.
British Miku.
Yeah, complaining about a £4 meal deal. I respect it. But yeah,
she's the queen.
We're a Digimon podcast for the most part.
Hey, Miku's like a digital thing, right? Like,
I mean,
I bet Miku knows Agumon.
Dude, Vanguard's had like VTuber crossovers. Other games have had Vocaloid crossovers. When are we getting Hatsune Miku Tamer? White Tamer, 3 costs?
Should be blue.
Yes, because she's blue.
No, she needs to be a white tamer to make her unsearchable off of trainings, just to be safe. And then she's gonna have Louis level game morphing effects.
Yeah, I could see it. Yeah, I don't know. Digimon's fun right now. There's been a lot of good news and stuff this week. We got the
unless you play Yellow Vaccine
here. Oh, yeah, well, the ban list starts tomorrow?
Officially,
cool. It's today. Oh, of course, it's the 31st. Yeah. Welcome to ban list.
Also, today, side note, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Ban list is coming out today at some point. So that's neat.
I'll believe it.
Yeah, if it comes out during the pod, we'll do it again.
They announced it in like a YouTube description with the guy from One Direction, right?
Zayn Malik.
It's so tight. I think that's the best. Like, this is how they. At least you guys are getting it in writing now. That's pretty good. But yeah, no, there's been a bunch of Digimon stuff this week. We've had the what's it called? Ultimate Cup announcements have been made, so it's like all the new Shine Greymon stuff.
Yeah,
that whole line is out. Those are pretty sweet.
That's pretty good. The choice of cards was a bit questionable in my opinion. Like,
should have had 17.
Yes. That's the right one. It should have been 17 Shine Greymon to give him an all. But also like, the Agu is fine. The Geogray, I feel like
it's the one of. It's cool that it finally has an alt.
Yeah, but at the same time, it feels really bad because, like, it's a one of. So.
Well, you only win one when you do well, right?
That is true. You only need the one.
You only need the one.
Yeah. Wait, it's top 6. Wait, what?
Top 64 gets Geo, top 32 gets Rise, top 8 gets Shine, and the winner gets Burst Mode, and second place runner-up gets the now bordered Silver Susanomon.
I will say that the Rise is a great pick because I love like that artwork. Although
it's a reference to a different game. It's really funny. That's not actually Marcus's Rise Greymon. That's the Rise Greymon from Digimon Cyber Sleuth. Like that world. Not Yuki, what's her name? I don't remember. I'm a fake fan.
From which one?
I think it's Cyber Sleuth and Hacker's Memory, and her brother has the Machine Dramon.
Oh, okay, if it's Hacker's Memory, I can't help you here. But that is cool if so.
Because the fight it's having is in Kowloon. That's like the floor on its feet.
Oh, yeah,
and stuff.
it is.
So that's cool. Anyway, that's the Marcus spawner, but it's not Marcus's guy. Yeah, those are cool. What's it called? We got Card Game Fest is coming out soon. We finally have like some additional information about it too. But I like the event pack is so cool too. There's so much good stuff coming out right now.
Yeah, very, very, very neat. Man, the person that goes X4 drop gets their event pack and it's a Death X. Congratulations.
Congrats, bro. You got it.
I am pretty jealous. I think it's a bummer that we're not getting those in LM though.
That's fine. I mean, like between like our group will get just about everything. Like there's some real bangers here. Obviously, like I mean, though everything is kind of. I think like the only real duds are like the sister mons, and like
I think
we
the
have
quartz
people.
mons are kind of duds personally.
Whoa, buddy! It goes in my alt rarity Bloomlord deck. Okay.
Sure.
So you know.
I think the sisters are like, I guess to the general population they're kind of duds, but like the Jesmon players need so many of them that as long as you know like a friend of a friend that's a Jesmon player, like you can at least flip those with relative ease.
Yeah,
you got a little bank like free. It's like a free money glitch.
Yeah, like I would say the sisters are probably more of it until your local Jesmon player has their playset. I would say that you're probably more likely to be able to shift the sisters faster than the Chaos Dramon X.
Yes, I think the Chaos X will probably be the one that will be the toughest to shift.
In a normal timeline where they banned Heaven's Judgment, that would have been the dud. But here we are.
Yeah, I need two of them. I'm kind of glad that Heavens is single color just for the two color border things. Like they're fine. Like the Magnamon I need two of because I still don't have two alts. But like I think yellow-green Heaven's Judgment would have been an affront to the eyes.
You've just reminded me of something I discovered recently. So this is maybe more relevant as like what's it called? Like event running stuff, but I thought I'd make it aware because this is like kind of a scoop. And they haven't published this on the official Twitter yet. If you go to your Bandai TCG Plus, I'll just go ahead and drop the web link in our pod chat so you can just pull that up, Andrew. You go to the deck builder, which does suck still. Bandai, if anyone ever sends this to anybody at Bandai, please work on the deck builder. It's not good and very bad.
Send me a terms of service.
Bad luck, King. Good luck.
Yeah, I read and understood those. We all understood those together.
Go to the deck builder. It's up at the top right. And then go to build a new deck, and then you'll be able to see it. Doesn't matter what format, you can click whatever. Behold, all of EX7 fully translated in English, including the promos. And the crazy thing is, this confirms the red and like the color borders, which they have yet to officially confirm as part of the set.
Oh, very PogChamp.
So, ta-da!
Damn.
I found this last night when I was messing around trying to build some stuff.
So. Why do you do your deck building in the official Bandai?
I checked regulation. I wanted to see. I was checking for the Tamer Battle stuff. I was looking at like pauper lists.
I see. Well, yeah, that is a cool scoop.
Yeah, there you go. Also cool because the like SPs and stuff are all here too. So we know about like the Chase, Bielstar, X Antibody, and all of that. It's pretty tight.
Can't wait to pull one of those and flip it to my friends.
The other one that's weird is the Digimon Liberator promo. One of its alts is in this, which is crazy.
The SPs now have a marking for SP. They're not.
They do. They already did.
What? I thought they were just 3-star.
No, I think, Andrew, your SP has a marking that says SP. Might be worth checking. He has a Ragnalord.
He has a Ragna SP?
Yeah, he has a Ragna SP. It's in the YouTube videos. This guy doesn't watch the channel.
I do, but I'm trying to think, like, when did Andrew get a Ragna SP?
He owns one. I think he bought one off Card Market.
Ah, okay. Because I don't remember anyone, like, pulling it or anything like that.
Yeah, I get the feeling he bought one on Card Market.
In other news, I spent like $40 on Terramon promos because I'm an idiot.
I should have. They're really hard to get right now.
When I asked in like the chat of like the Zafaga chat in like the Digica Discord, and I was like, out of curiosity, like how much did you guys spend on your Terramons? Because in my head they were always this price.
No, they used to be so cheap.
They used to be like a lot cheaper, like a month or two ago. So yeah, I basically, like, to be fair, I think 2 is like a good number because like the other Terramons are insanely good. And you still need to play like Muchomon.
Yeah, you need Mucho.
Is this the not EX7 Tarot? The
promo Tarot? Yeah, they're really expensive. The thing is, I'm holding out hope because we have no official confirmation of it at the moment. But when the Digivice, like the is it called D-Detector? No, not Detector. D-Storage, thank you. When that like officially comes out in the like English world, it comes with another alt of these cards.
Yes, however,
so
you're forgetting that I have FOMO, and if I don't have my cards as the deck is dropping, I'll be very mad.
Oh no, yeah, I agree. That's why I'm buying them too. I'm just waiting till I get paid. Well, I got paid last night, but I haven't spent all the money yet. I have people to buy presents for. Anyway, I just thought that was a cool thing to share. This is a funny time to bring up EX7 as like a whole. I don't think we had like a chance to do like a comprehensive look at EX7. Is there anything in this set that you guys like? I mean, you guys know what's in here, but like, is there anything in here now that you're like, oh, you know what? That might be kind of good now that the ban list just come through. I don't intend to build it. Not really, unless somebody else I know who wants to like get into the game more or anything wants to build it. But I kind of quietly believe in the new Three Muskets stuff a little bit more now. Now that it's not getting donkey rushed by Ukomons, it might be a little better.
Biggest hater. Yeah, we can probably talk. Do we combine it into like the biggest winners and losers of the ban list?
Yeah, I'm good for that. I think there's something to it though. Like there's a lot more in EX7 that's like a total departure. I mean, like, because it's Liberator, right? Like this is the start of a probably year-long wave of support, much like how BT14 was the start of the Seeker stuff. So we'll see how it goes.
I mean, also
I think Mirage will get an ace. Not till they give it, I mean, unless it steals a different color's ace, like Imperial or whatever, but like it won't get an ace until, what's it called? Till the next Data Squad set.
Yeah.
Thank God.
It missed out on getting one in 17 for like a movie set. I think if it was gonna get one, it would have gotten one the same time Shine did.
They'll probably get level 6 aces, it'd be my guess. Like, unless they're gonna go back and like give Rosemon and Mirage Burst aces like they did Ruin mode, which is great for me because I want them to ban the old Burst mode. So, yeah. Do we want to do an EX7 quick like once over? I'm all for it.
We can do.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think we've done one on the channel.
D-Links is probably going to be stupid again.
Yeah, I think. Well, we know those cards are going to perform, but like probably in the frustrating sense that like they'll get stolen by like Grace Nova, like Lightfang Nightclaw, because we know that's what happened to them in the past. They both evolve over Flaremon.
Yeah, I mean that, and also I just think that generally, the deck was a little bit slow to get started, so not getting Uko rushed is probably really relevant. Also, if they don't like the rookies, they can probably just run BT16 Ukomon because that guy did not get hit, so there's your turn after turn consistency searcher. Yeah,
very much agreed. I also dig the second wave of support's pretty quality. Like the Hinas were never bad cards anyway, but like
no, you just thought that you needed a second Hina name, but they just said, what if we just didn't need her and you could still play a deck that functions?
But
I mean, it would have been appreciated, obviously.
Yeah. The Hina searching is weird. The Lavorvomon is one of those cards, the level 4, that I'm just like, I don't know really what they thought they were like. It just doesn't mesh with the rest of the pile, and I've looked at it a lot. It's like the fact that the on play is how you return pieces to search, or like to take it back, is like you have to have the Hina in play already to resolve that effect, and then you only get the Hina by doing the one digivolving. So like you can't in of itself resolve it that first time.
Yeah, but I think that's the point, because like the idea is like the new common design space is, well, it was level 4 plays a tamer. Now it's a level 4 doesn't lock you out if you have a tamer. Is if you have 2 tamers, which if you're only running Hina and maybe some analogs, you in theory should be able to level 4 when digivolving. Then every subsequent one is just free, but like does the Dragon Link style effect. So it's kind of like multifaceted.
My thing is like, there's how much incentive is there for people to play Hina links in EX7, right? Like, I think like if you have your Hinas, you'll play the deck at locals, but can it really like check what's good in the format?
Metallic Dramon is a house. In fact, it's a whole housing estate.
Yeah, but the new Volcanic also single-handedly stops like Mirage OTK.
Yes, but the problem with this deck is like its consistency, right? Because like its consistency and speed. On paper, you stop Mirage. Do you get to do that before they get to do their game plan?
Maybe.
In theory.
I'm not confident in it. That's why I said I think the best place for these cards is going to be like Light Fang Nightclaw stuff. But that's true for like half the good red or blue SRs.
The thing is, it's like an enthusiast deck. Like the people that would be able to give us real data as to whether they think the cards are good are the people that were playing the deck in EX3 and fighting tooth and nail against like a push a 5 out of raising OTK meta, and they're like, okay, yeah, this is how you deal with it. I think aces will be interesting, like especially with aces running around and stuff like that. Like the memory economy is going to be a little bit weird when they actually do their things, but I don't know. This would have been a great time to have Jamie on, see what he thinks.
Bro's locked in on
every Hina Links player you ever talk to is just like, I can't believe we didn't get another Hina. They don't care that these cards are good.
Another Hina would have definitely helped.
It would have helped the old stuff, but I think
that's like the main thing.
Yeah, it would have helped the old stuff, but also maybe just giving them a memory setter, like an in-archetype memory setter would have been nice, just because now there are so many tamers that do what Hina does. Start of main, gain 1 memory. Like, yes, in theory, her being start of turn.
She doesn't rely on like any.
I thought it was if they had a Digimon.
No, they have to have a Digimon. No. Yeah.
Really? But she's not start of main. She's start of turn. She's like randomly better than the others because she's older.
Yeah, so you won't just get like turn skipped by a Digimon Emperor is the idea, but she's not like, now that everyone has generic, they have a Digimon gain a memory, they probably could have done with a searchable tamer or like memory setter, but like they love you.
I personally can't wait to run Hinas to replace my Louise in Light Fang Nightclaw toolbox, just because it's 1 memory and it stops you getting turn skipped.
Good stuff.
Yeah, that's the red egg lion. I think it's funny that the Demi Maramon just straight up has no place at all. Like if your opponent has 1 or fewer, you get 2 KDP. It's like, yeah, you cleared the whole board. Well done.
Good job.
Get a terrible buff.
Yeah, I mean, they would just need to start dropping red Koromon with different names, so that way they're archetypal to really stand up to anything. Somehow.
Speaking of not bad eggs, though, the ice snow stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is like, I mean, I was a believer in these cards before the ban list because they already had some like fringe results.
Yeah.
And with the Liberator stuff coming out past this, it's gonna get even more support, which is really good.
This is just bad Upamon, right? Like, why would you run this over Upamon?
So there's a couple reasons. Part of why you would run this over Upamon, it's that if your opponent has no Digimon, not has a Digimon with no sources.
Well,
it's have no Digimon. Oh, right, yeah. So if you've got empty board,
it's sort of the Bukamon adjacent kind of effect.
Okay.
The main thing though is that like, why have? I think this card would have been good if it. I don't think this card could have ever been good, because like if you want a reward for source stripping, you have the Kiaromon, right?
I
And
agree.
if you wanted to get a draw when attacking, you'd play Wanyamon. I guess this being conditional on like you not needing a tamer is good, but like
you not needing a tamer or them playing in the back because they're afraid of getting source stripped. So like, if you could side deck your eggs, it would be game 1 Upamon. After they're like, oh shit, this is a source strip deck. Game 2 Kiarimon. You stay in the back. I'll keep drawing.
You waste your 5 theoretical extra deck slots.
Yep.
Sorry, side deck slots.
Yep. Giga mind game.
That's awesome.
I think it's also funny that none of the like relevant ice. No, we haven't seen the 4 for the level 3 for the Scottymon line. We know it's like oh my gosh, what is that Digimon called? The snowman teddy bear guy.
Originally Polarmon?
No, I don't remember what he's called. Hang on. He's in like BT1. It'll take me like 2 seconds.
Is it not Frigimon?
Oh, it is Frigimon. Sorry, yeah, the ice snow polar bear guy.
Yeah.
That's the like target level 4 for that line. Wow, they have that's just occurred to me now that Frigimon is an in-archetype jamming name for the main partner of a new character. That's really good.
Yeah.
Same with the Tyrannomon, actually. That's really funny. Huh. Anyway, a random epiphany's happening live on stream. No, the thing I was going to say is that, like, because we don't know what the level 3 for her line is yet, I think it's probably going to be like a Penmon or whatever. We don't have like a third target level 3 for the blue deck, but both Belucomon and Snow Agumon just evolve over blue egg. There's no like name target. So like Marcio said, it's like, why would you choose this over like Kiaromon or whatever? It's like, I don't necessarily think you would. But it's a neat option. I think the other distinction to this,
if they were 2-color, we'd be in trouble.
This card did have a particularly annoying niche, as far as I understand it, which is the Ice Snow in EX7 is a great just like dickhead go first deck, because you choke them to 1 with BT16 Uko and then push out, and then they definitely don't have a Digimon with sources. So then you get the free draw and an Uko check. So it's very good. But like past that, I don't know. There's layers to it. The Belucomon's crazy though.
There are layers.
There are layers. I'm Shrek.
Okay. We don't have to be
Shrek. Big fan of
when they make an onion mon.
Add it to the burger deck.
Yeah, real. Yeah, I mean, like Hexablaw is crazy though. Like the card is like so good it leaves its archetype. Ice Clad is crazy. Security attack is generically good, especially in blue. They don't normally do that. And then it's trash any 4 from each of your Digimon. So it's like it's not like Diana where you're stuck choosing 1 Digimon. It's just 4 cards. And then you pot deck a tamer, which is really, really tight. So big fan of this card.
That card I think is like going to be like this is the card that will age like fine wine. Like the Hexaball specifically is like a card that I would say like pick up if you play anything remotely blue. Yep. Because of just like what it will do to the game in a little bit. Like it's incredibly generic, incredibly powerful. Like, and ironically, like one of the decks that I'm kind of excited to play is like Tommy hybrid with Hexablow, because like
that's kind of what I'm thinking. Like I was gonna skip this set because I again don't care about anything in it, but I keep remembering that Hexablow. I'm like, I kind of like Hexablow. He's cool.
I mean, you could just buy the Hexablows, right? Like
that's the thing.
You don't need to get the boxes.
Like, I don't care enough to buy Hexablow. We'll see how expensive he is, because he's generically blue, and therefore he will be kind of pricey.
This is like a box that I will probably buy multiples of, because 1's a Faga, and like 2, like my house will probably want Sendril, and then like, I want to build Nature Spirits. I just do.
Hell yeah. When I get my money back from my case that never showed up, I have now I've completely given up on them. I bought myself a box of BT17. So when I get my money back, I am basically dumping it right back into EX7, because basically every archetype in this expansion is a banger. And like, if I've learned anything from like Digimon over the years I've played it,
I don't know about Mustang.
No, it's like for one, I think it can get a little bit better over time. But 2, I think the fact that like when they give us those like new like floor like sets where it's like BT16 was like the start of like the O2 sets, and then there was like more O2 stuff, and then Seekers was like Seekers started in 14 and has basically gone all the way to 17. Like you should get on when they make the new like getting into the game set, and you should get a bunch of those cards. Because they usually support the shit out of them.
Yeah.
The Hexablow, even, it's crazy. It's an Ice Snow card. It's a good generic blue thing. And then whatever the heck they're getting up to with this like Magic Knight Witchel Knee crap is like also going to affect this card. So you can't lose. Hexablow is like probably one of the best hits in the whole set. That's his line. There's also Sendrelmon. That's the yellow egg for this line. We've talked about Sendrelmon a million times, but these cards are so dope, dude.
Sendrel is very good. I think Sendrel is maybe a tiny bit better than Zafaga in terms of like viability with no scrambles.
Yeah, I was gonna say without scrambles for sure.
But it feels like we're back to having like a good like aggressive yellow deck. Like this deck is like meant to attack and like meant to push the game forward. Like it doesn't really, it can security minus as like a defensive tool, but like I don't even think it like recovers.
No,
it very, very rarely recovers.
It's really interesting how much like generic security DP minus there is, because like we love Terry. We know that he has to wear 2 seatbelts in order to feel comfortable driving his yellow cars into security. And you know what? Maybe this is where we get to see generic weird yellow shit at top end again, like BT4 yellow warg about to come through swinging over 0 DP Digimon in security.
No, you play the new Sendrelmon and the starter deck Sendrelmon. Why are we complicating the best parts of the deck?
The best part of this deck is that you can play Chaperomon and Sendrelmon and it just be like a bulletproof game plan. Like there's no reason to mess with this one.
Your bottom man gets quirky. You could play Blanc Awakened.
Oh no puppet bullshit. No like Arisa Puppet Rush.
Puppet Rush kinda cool.
Kinda
Big fan.
cool.
We'll see.
Yeah, who needs Bushi Agu for game when you can just have... Are there any like 2-cost puppets? Like really like lame ass like...
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a Junkmon, but like the other thing is
very good.
The thing is you can spit out the puppets with the option. What's it? The fun, conveniently that you said it, Andrew. Wonder Stomp, which is main draw 1 for 2 memory and then spit out a level 3 puppet from your hand.
What were they thinking?
Yeah. So it has to be a level 3 puppet, but like, Blanc Awaken, go Arisa, give it rush. Very funny.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm a big fan on the Sendrelmon stuff.
Wait, so which one's the one that gives rush?
The mem setter from the starter deck.
Yeah, the starter deck card.
Okay.
But it's an effect playing it, so you have to spawn them with Sendrelmon or use the option card.
So it's not drop a short on for 3.
No, it's not quite that bad.
Toy Agumon for 2.
The thing with the Risa is that, like, once again, she's very good with scrambles because like, you would scramble into the Shumon and then
it gets rush.
It would trigger the Arisa to give it rush, which meant that then you could overclock too.
No off turn.
I mean, yeah.
Dude, every time yellow gets a no off turn deck, it's a good deck. Literally every time.
What was the last time that they got that?
I would have said Marcus Hybrid, and then before that was like regular yellow hybrid, and before that was Lord Nightmon.
Yeah.
Big fan of Lord Knight.
They literally every single time they have a deck that like gets around getting its ass taken off board, it's the best yellow deck they've made in the year. So no pressure, Shumon. But yeah, that's the what's it called, the yellow egg line stuff. I mean, the other thing is like there is a certain amount of like the Arisa is more specialized than, I mean, like infamously the Shoto is very good. But
yeah,
like,
I forgot he comes out in this set.
The Shoto is going to be like the
alts are going to be expensive.
The War Criminal set. I mean, if you're not going to be able to get BT17, at least if you're double dipping back into EX sets, we say it every time, EX sets are the best place to spend your money most of the time. Because
I am so excited for the bordered cards. I was building with Marcia the other day, and like basically every card in Nature Spirits has the foil border, except for this is a separate random argument I want to have with Bandai, but like basically the most important card in that whole archetype is the Eldoradimon, and it's the only Nature Spirit card in this whole set that doesn't have a border.
It's also the only card in the deck that like does something. Like your whole deck is like, oh boy, I sure hope I get the Eldoradimon.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, the what's it called? The Triceramon's not bad. It's like a suspend lock, but like
it's okay.
Yeah, the like main guy is clearly the Eldoradimon, and he's the only one without the border, which is cringe.
Hopefully, it just means that eventually he's gonna have.
He'll get like an alt.
Yeah, like some sort of
alt. After what's it called? Kiaramon is Shumon. Marcia, do you want to talk about Terramon a lot? Because I'm still reading and learning everything.
I mean,
but like,
we could
I feel like you have.
The main thing about Terramon is like, it's a green deck that can like push damage without, you know, the opponent being on board. The Terramon is very good. Like the deck is very robust. The main thing that it's missing, I can't really all that, like I'm gonna say this over and over again. Like I'm sure people are sick and tired of me saying that the deck needs scrambles, but scrambles like really do affect the deck a little bit. But I will say that like for what's worth, the deck is like very good out of the box. Like between the fact that you don't even have to play the deck, like the starter decks and EX7 come out at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
You just have the deck straight away. Like you don't have to play like a, you know, ugly duckling sort of like version of the deck. It's like the idea that like, oh, I'm learning my starter deck cards. You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
So you literally like buy yourself 2 starter. I don't know if you need to buy 2 or you'd want.
I think you should buy 2 just to make sure. Like if you're legit new to the game, like you get 4 copies of Green Mem Boost, you get 4 copies of Green Training.
Oh,
like
I forgot that you get the trainings. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's definitely like I'm buying 4 starter decks.
I feel like they've always been designed.
2 Central.
They've always been designed for like buy 2 and then next support. Like I think when was the last time that they actually released with the main set? It was BT8, right?
No.
Well, not in Europe, but also
no,
BT8
in Europe. It didn't happen in NA.
Really? I remember the starter decks coming out way before the BT8.
No, they came out at the same time. It was basically like the same weekend, because that's when I started playing, and I was talking to someone that was from NA.
BT10 came out with the Jesmon stuff at the same time. So they have the starter deck. BT10 was Ragnarlord and Jesmon. No, Ragnarlord
BT10
and
was Crossheart, right?
Like the expansion theme, it was Crossheart. But like it was bro is pretending he doesn't remember working on his Shatmon script.
Yeah.
No, it was the 2 starter decks were Ragnarlord and Jesmon. And Jesmon's BT10 cards basically came out at the same time as the starter deck, and it was a big deal for the deck.
Jesmon has BT10 cards?
It has Jesmon X Antibody and Jesmon GX.
That was a BT9 card.
No, it's the like randomly like the exception and just like shoved into a later set.
Fair enough. Okay, yeah, I take it back then.
It's a shame that muskets didn't work with older cards. Yeah, but that old design was kind of a rotten apple. They couldn't keep giving that one, like, especially if they're going to keep making Demon Lords cards that cost 7 because they like that like gimmick. They were gonna. This is them gently pushing it out to pasture. I'm kind of worried the Gabumon unhit might make like the old Musketeers stuff like fringe usable again. I just don't want to see this. Move on to the new stuff.
It's probably fine.
Like, this SP goes foolish.
Oh, dude, they're crazy. All the SPs in this set are super tight. I'm really excited about Zafagamon. I like a lot of I've been moving. We've said this on the show a couple times. So one of my things right now is that like a ton of my cards are in a storage unit somewhere else that's not with me, which is really annoying. It means I have very limited access to decks. I basically have my Gallantmon binder and like just whatever else I packed in like a trade binder. So the idea that I'm going to be able to get 2 starter decks and whatever's in EX7 and just no life Zafagamon for a while is really exciting. Feels like a good like start over. Very hype. Also, this deck very good with the one of Paladin mode.
Do we want to talk muskets then? Because muskets are probably like the most. I don't know. I'd say the most fleshed out. Like it feels like because they're in every color, it feels like it's like the weirdest one. Or do you want to get heavy metal jet out of the way? Because
I mean, I could talk a lot about this deck. I've been deck building and testing it. It doesn't do anything at the moment.
It doesn't do anything.
The thing I will say is that it has a couple neat. There's like the search terms are good. Dark Dragon, and Evil are good cards to have. The deck makes really good use of like Eismon and Eismon Scatter Mode 1-ofs, both being archetypally searchable, which is very good. It makes good use of the original Chaos Gallantmon. Like I've been stealing BT5 Black Growlmon for a little while because he's another generic security check. You also are basically like grown in a lab to abuse BT whatever Nidhoggmon. BT7. Yeah. Like it's incredible for you in this deck because you pitch it, you gain your memory, and then you use Yuki to evolve into it, and then when Digivolving, you can trash even more cards to pop stuff. So, and then your Nidhogg's fine. It's like a whatever card. You get to spit it out for 7, which is like okay. I think the card coincidentally gets a lot better when Beelzemon Blast Mode comes out. So if you basically get to spawn a level 6 from trash every turn and then threaten a Blast Evolve, like that's kind of good. But like at the moment, it's kind of whatever. Some people say that like the best thing this deck gets to do is like stack Mem Boosts and then spit this thing out and then just loop Ruin Mode, which is a common thread you'll notice in purple decks at the moment. But yeah, the thing of the deck is like it's not that it's not gonna work ever. It's just because it did not receive a consecutive wave of support the way the bees did, or the way that like Ice Snow stuff did from the Liberator cards. It's not gonna get like as much love immediately. It will obviously get better when we get scrambles, and when we get Megidramon Ace. That card is made for this deck. But also, every little Impmon you can steal from Beelzemon makes this deck better too. So it'll get there. And like the core plan is really airtight. Like this is the Idiot's purple deck. It's very, very straightforward to play.
It is half red after all.
It is half red. That is the mark of an Idiot's deck. It's beautiful. Yeah, I don't know. Give it some time. Buy your Yukis when they're cheap. That's my 2 cents. As cheap as they will be anyway, Limo.
Yeah. It'd be interesting because like I feel like when they actually do another chapter where she's a main focus, because reading the web novel, it feels like,
oh my god, is this finally the week we can talk about it?
So what's crazy is like the new Liberator chapters came out for the webtoon, and I saw those and like, oh, I could read those tonight. Neat. And I was like, oh, I don't need to read them tonight. I'll just make sure I've read them before this evening. And I was like, oh shit, the podcast is this morning. So I have not read the most recent chapter, so I've let the side down.
Spoilers for one panel of the whole thing. Yuki and Impmon are relevant in the new chapter. So
okay.
Yeah, so there is hope and the line for a Heavy Metal Dramon. So.
Yeah, so I figure like when she's getting more spotlight, we'll actually see the second wave of support. I feel like they were just like kind of sidelining her to get the whole cast in, so that way they can.
Yeah, they make a reference to all of the novel characters. So like we have now got like a comic cameo from like Fun Beemon and stuff as well, which is cool. But yeah, that's Heavy Metal. It's conceptually actually pretty solid, and the things it does are just good ass purple flavor. Like Heavy Metal Dramon as a boss monster is like kind of everything purple would want out of a stack deck. It like trashes, it pops, so no floodgates can interfere with your game plan, and then you basically get to special summon, and that's largely the easy version of what purple would want to do anyway. So and also basically can't lose a resource. Like if you have Yukis, your cards are never gone. So I'm a big fan. Maybe one day to look at another wave.
Hopefully. I mean, it should.
Liberator is really popular apparently. Like it's doing better than I think people expected. Turns out people just want new Digimon media. Who'd have thought?
Yeah. That's like the main thing.
Official right? Digimon media as well, not like hey, yeah, we repurposed this because it wasn't doing well. It's a Digimon now kind of media.
Yeah. The last like line here is the musket stuff. I think it is worth covering before we talk about like the winners and losers.
Yeah.
Actually, I mean, it's the last line because Wanyamon is a promo and not actually in the set, but like Wanyamon is here too. We'll talk about Nature Spirits really quick. But if you guys don't know, this is the reboot of the muskets stuff. The idea is that they are essentially all like if you read the searchers basically explain it for you. It's reveal the top, add a muskets card and an option card with 6 exactly among them. So the idea is that they can dig for the new musketeer options, which are Chaos Triangular in red, Dare Blitz in black, and Hurricane Screw Shot in purple. And the idea is all of these cards have effects where they get trashed from Digimon's Digivolution cards to gain memory or to de-digivolve or to gain DP. And the idea is that the muskets themselves both manipulate using options, use them for free, return them to hand, set them under play, and then when they've used the bullet, they load them back in their own gun and put them in their sources. So it's a really interesting way to like manipulate using cards like this.
It is. Also, 6 is just a better number. Obviously, it's cheaper to use, yada, yada, yada. But, like, thematically, I never really understood why it was 7 for Billstar before. Like, 7 is, like, a lucky number connotation, but that doesn't really link up with the Billstar thing. Whereas, like, a revolver is a 6 shooter. So, like, 6 memory makes like, more sense thematically.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. I think like they've kind of gotten it pretty airtight. There are like a couple pieces of like support we should probably take a look at. The Deputymon is just kind of like a generic like only on your turn he's a 3 musket, so you can't blast evolve into doing some stupid stuff if they print a level 5 that would be tagged. I think it's good future proofing.
Where's the Tankmon? Because that guy's a criminal.
Yeah, the Tankmon's pretty sweet.
I hate this guy.
But they've gone back and they've reattached Megadramon and Gigadramon to 3 muskets, which is neat. So it's like the idea is that they are, they themselves evolve over 3 muskets cards, but they aren't themselves 3 muskets. And the idea is that it's like one of them places the options under himself to pop something, and the other one is like Digivolve, if I remember correct.
So the Giga is delete an opponent's Digimon or Tamer, so you do get Tamer pop as well.
Yeah.
For 3 costs or less. It has collision as an inherit, and then the Megadramon is piercing, and then you get to delete a 6k or less. So still getting to keep to that like colored flavor, so you can still, I'd say, play them out of archetype, but more like, so machine still has useful keywords for them that are linked to being in archetype, whereas the on-play when Digivolvings are solely for the actual like muskets line.
Yeah. But then the actual musketeers themselves are all like different flavors of like board expansion. So like Magna Kidmon is use an option, then draw until you have 6 in your hand, which is amazing. And then they have the end of turn to trash it and then attack. So it's really cool. You can basically guarantee this thing gets down regardless of how much you're paying to evolve. It's very tight. Gundramon is the same shtick. It's reveal top 6. Again, 6 bullets, 6 in the chamber. Use the option card that you find. And then you can either top or bot deck the stack, which is cool. So you can basically guarantee your next couple draws, which is tight. And then this thing is like a pseudo-protected body. And then the last one is Billstar Ace. She's like pretty guaranteed. I mean, Magna Kidmon's probably like individually the strongest card, but this is the strongest one in the archetype.
Yeah, her being able to blast over 6 is again, right? Is it? No, it's Billstar X can go over 6.
Yeah. Her gimmick is really great. So she is, for one, she's an ace. She just costs 6 to slam, which is very good. But it's return an option from trash, then use an option card. So her ability to just like continuously manipulate the pieces that you're using is nice. And her when attacking is trash 1 from underneath her sources to use 1 from your hand. So you can keep the options moving the fastest with her. But like the game plan with the option cards is that they tend to be Hurricane Screwshot. It basically clears wide boards. It pops a 3, 4, and a 5. And then Dare Blitz is delete the lowest play cost. So the idea is if you use Screwshot, then you use Dare Blitz, you basically clear a board. But because she costs 6, returns an option, then uses an option, the whole game plan is basically like the red muskets card is Chaos Triangular, which is main delete something with 9k, and then for every 3 muskets you have, add 3k to the effect. So all of the cards that are muskets on your turn, add to this number while you use it. And slamming Billstar to use this gives you another body. So you can pop like 13k wide boards just going crazy with this one combo. So the other thing about this deck, like there's something to be said for it, is in security, they're all big ass obnoxious security bombs. Yeah. Dare Blitz is just pop your lowest play cost. What's it called?
Triangular is a 3, 4, 5, and then no, Triangular is 12k, and then Screwshot is 3, 4, and 5.
Yeah. So with regards to like the opinion that like the format we're playing might just be like a Mirage and Imperial OTKing you because it's like, haha, you can't play against blue. That's not necessarily wrong, but in a world post ban list where this deck is better positioned, I think it might have a chance to slow some of those things down. Like, it's going to be really annoying for a burst mode OTK when they check a Dare Blitz and lose the game.
Yeah, because they're finally not like their whole thing was like in Levia they would lose to Biting Crush, so you would have to go into the burst early. That doesn't matter now. Now you just straight.
Now you're just
die.
Dead. Yeah.
Imperial probably is still pretty well positioned because they're like, damn, you shot me. Anyway, Primarch.
Anyway,
I'm gonna go new pair of jeans.
The thing with this deck is that like the BLStar deck, it does a lot of cool things, and it's neat for people that want to play, Musketeers with like new flavor. But ultimately, like, it's like a role play deck, right?
Yeah, to an extent. I think it's like a more like modern viable version of playing like an option heavy list. Like, this is the best way that they've ever made so that like playing expensive options doesn't brick you.
Sure.
And for people that just want to do that or like the idea that their security is full of bombs that sack the uninteractive OTK stuff, then like, yeah, congratulations, it does do that. So
I'm looking at the Deputymon. The black Deputymon, I don't think it works. Yeah, just because it won't ever like double hit. Like, you're never gonna pick up an option card because it only picks up 7s.
Yeah,
it's the only problem.
But it does get to evolve into what's it called? Ignoring requirements. It gets to evolve into your muskets from hand.
Yeah, so like it's a cheap warp, I guess. But
yeah, what's his name? Gundramon already costs $1 million to evolve anyway. And Magna Kid is like, if you're just dumping cards to get back on board, going Deputy Magna Kid is like a pretty good line.
Yeah, so maybe it does see some fringe use, but also being only able to evolve with black because it's an old card, it probably tight. There'll be instances where you're like, oh, okay, this works, and it'll like get you something. But kind of like Marcia said, you're role playing, so like if you want to include it, you actually you just can, because you're playing a deck that you are willing to make concessions in order to play a specific archetype, which is fine. With the obviously the deck is all about level 6s and all that shit, but like is there a world where the devices and the like, I was thinking of like recharge plugin, because obviously their whole thing is load a bunch of like options underneath them, but like recharge plugin actually does just load itself underneath you, then go into security. Like, being able to have your BLStar swing in with pseudo jamming with like battle protection would be interesting, because then you again get to load something else underneath it.
I mean, yeah, that definitely the card I've seen people suggest you should be playing to like incorporate extra options adding in is Protoform.
Oh yeah, that
being
makes
able
sense.
to Protoform into BLStar X. That way she can't trash Protoform itself from her own Digivolution cards because she can't use it as like a tagged card. But basically going BLStar for 0 and then being able to then use the option card from hand is just like, you're basically able to keep your pieces moving that way, which
Not
is
a
neat.
single once per turn on BLStar X. God bless.
I'll give any card a pass if it trashes security. I have one thing I'm into. So yeah, I kind of, like I said, my particular opinion on this is that it probably is better positioned post ban list. Yes, like, I mean, what does that say about how crazy Uko Nume was, that like its recursive floating bodies were so obnoxious that like a card like Hurricane Screwshot did not stop that deck? Like 40% of their boards are 3/4/5, and that card didn't out it. Like, normal. The last, like, I mean, there's Nature Spirits, that's like a separate thing. The last thing we will get hate comments if we don't answer or talk about it is Lilith X. Lilith X is probably the best out of the box to be like a real deck that like people know about and should be practicing with.
I'm so happy
like
for Caleb.
If you're going to Glasgow, you will probably see this card. Expect to. It's either going to go in your Demon Lords matches or it's going to go in its own deck. She's crazy.
There's tons of ways to play it. Like the Lilith deck, like off the top of the dome, you can play it in like its own self-contained deck. You could definitely like play it with the Arukeni Mamimon like engine. That's like an engine that abuses this card very well, or like the idea of like Lilith X very well.
Yep.
It's a good card.
the other there are concentrated pieces of support for it. The Tsukaimon and the Black Gatomon are both interesting. They're both like popping something else to cancel attacks is very strong, because then you get to trigger the like security destruction from Lilith X. But like I would say most people feel like the power budget for this archetype is Lilith X and her option 7th Fascination. We're talking about like why can't muskets use their 7 cost options anymore? It's because of this. This card is bananas. It's all your opponent's Digimon low tier god themselves at the end of their turn. So very strong. I expect this to see pretty consistent use in both Demon Lords and in Lilith pile.
And with Gabu getting unhit as well, it's I think all of the testing that people were doing, like, all right, this is how we get up into her and set up your trash, is like, okay, yeah, that's really cool and all, but what if I played 4 Gabumon now? And it's like, yeah, you're right. Boogeyman, who?
I mean, shit, we talked about it on the show. Like, this deck got second at like the Thailand GAO event, I believe. Like, it's got a record of being like a competent purple player's dream. So, if you know any competent purple players and they're really bored playing Megazoo, they might have something to do instead. I know it specifically. North American champion Bryce Miller is like a huge vocal proponent for this card in this deck. He's like big on it, and like put out combo videos and stuff back when it was still proxies. So
yeah, it was like within 2 hours of, I think it was like within 2 hours of the Lilith X getting its English translation. It's like, all right, this is how you ruin the game.
Yeah, it's like, we're playing yellow purple Candlemon to unsuspend and do it again. It's very tight. Yeah, I mean, it just goes to show what good players are going to do with this. So yeah, shout outs to Lilith X. And then there's Nature Spirits. If you don't know, Nature Spirits is the first version of like the Digivice decks. That's what people started calling them, or at least what I had seen. I don't know what the people might not care here. But the intent is that they're basically themed on like VPETs. So all of the Pendulum Nature Spirits VPET lines are, well, most of them are contained in here. Mm-hmm. So pretty cool to see. The Otamamon and the other level 3 is Gatsumon. All they're missing is Tentomon. I sort of hope they'll print that soon. That would be really cool. But a Tentomon that's both Bug and Nature Spirit would be tight.
Off, what, 4th Tentomon?
Yeah, it would. He could probably have another card. I don't think it'll break the bank.
No, I think we should get another Agumon personally.
You won't catch me complaining. Anyway, the idea is that basically, in ignoring colors, they all evolve over tags, and then the idea is that like by climbing the lines, their effects are all color themed despite being tag oriented. So it's like the Gekomon lines have basically like blue stun. The like what's it called? The Triceramon Monochromon stuff has like green like suspend lock. And then like the full thing culminates in a DNA line where you use Eldoradimon, the black level 6, who is on play when digivolving, reveal cards from your deck and spit out 7 play costs worth of Nature Spirits cards. Then end of turn you can DNA. So the idea is Eldoradimon and Saber Leomon in the VPET DNA together to make TommyNT. And TommyNT is our 3rd 3-color Digimon.
Wait, what did you call it?
He's called TommyNT.
I thought it was just like, is that an I or is it just?
No, it's TLALOC.
Yeah, Tlaloc.
I thought it was. I probably pronounced that Tlaloc because it's an Aztec word.
Like,
anyway, people call it Tlaloc.
I don't know. I mean, we can open up like a Google
get Google to pronounce that for me.
Yeah. This will be great.
ChatGPT, what is this Digimon? Anyway, this thing's entire gimmick is that it then gets to spit out even more Nature Spirits up to that same play cost, and then if you DNA, you spit out 2.
All right. How do we say Tlaloc? All right, we're getting weirdo.
EmmaSaying.com.
Tlaloc.
Come on, Emma.
It's Tlaloc. Apparently.
Oh, it's Tlaloc. Okay.
Yeah, Tlaloc.
Yeah, Tlalocmon then.
Yeah.
And his gimmick is that you get to shrink things. Yeah. So it's cool. There is a payoff to the deck. The thing is, it's like this is a very one-wave ass deck. It actually technically has 2 waves. It has a Metal Edamon that we get later on as well.
That shit is ass.
Yeah, that card's not great. But yeah, I don't know. Nature Spirit's cool, and I'm a big fan of the Digivice decks. So they've announced the second one already is Nightmare Soldiers. So very cool.
Him being DNA Digivolvable is so strange.
Yeah. I think that's a scuffed set review. Do we want to talk about the things that we think get better now that we've got EX7 out of the way?
So we already said that we think that the slower decks that, you know, snowball, like muskets, like Dragon Links, are definitely winners of the ban list by just not being hit by 17 slugs in one turn. I mean, obviously the biggest winners of the ban list are like Imperial and Mirage, because they just didn't get hit and everything else around them got worse.
Yeah. Fully agree.
Blue armor, it's a weird one. Like, it obviously got hit, and some of its problem matchups did not get hit. Like, Imperial now got way harder for us. Decks didn't get hit at all, but a bunch of its other decks that it went even with also got worse. So, like, it's probably uniquely better positioned into the meta outside of people just realizing that 3 decks actually were completely ignored on the ban list, and those 3 decks are all things we lose to. Ragnar went down because all of its good matchups got hard. All of its bad matchups didn't change, and all of its good matchups got made worse. So,
I think the other thing, we talked about this when we talked about the ban list like review, but a lot of the things that are kind of central to this card meta shift is that like deletion is good again, or like better again. So there are like red hybrid Ancient Greymon stands to be pretty powerful. Also notably a deck that doesn't care about options and security. So if there is a presence of Balestar or things like that, then that deck just checks it.
I don't know, that requires them to actually be making the Aldermon, because like that video did very well. The Imperial versus Ancient Greymon that came out, like it feels like because they're doing the promo warp, a lot of the time they're actually revealing option cards, which is really like, it's such a strange thing, because obviously like Emperor Greymon beats it into your head that you're like, yeah, pick up your security and go home. We don't care what's in there. But like Ancient right now, because it's skipping the Aldermon step, does feel like they're gonna have to slow the deck down just a little bit to make sure that they actually don't just like first check a screw shot and die.
For sure. Obviously that's going to be a little different considering like the EX7 starter deck format that we're all about to go into. But I have played a tiny bit of BT18, and like there are now enough Takuyas that just pick up promo Agunimon from trash that like they're gonna have the promo and still make Aldermon. Like the future is coming, and it is red hybrid. That being said, though, I am interested to see, like, you're right, like if you just all in on the promo, it's not gonna have the same move. So
like it's dummy quick. Like, don't get me wrong, like sometimes you do just like actually reach across the table and just go, we're going to game 3. But yeah, I don't know. It's very strange that like options are relevant versus a deck that used to just completely ignore them.
Yeah, it'll be an interesting change. I don't know. Ancient Grey is like that's the one that jumps out to me, because I still feel like we're in a format where like there's pretty minimal tamer interaction, so the red hybrid stuff is well positioned.
Do we think there's like if there's going to be a Gabumon deck that can actually do it? Because obviously the Ancient package now kind of has to drop the Gabu stuff. I'm just curious to see whether there's going to be like a Melga that is...
I can't believe in Melga. Like, I don't think that's that crazy. There's like, there are permutations to that deck where it's like a purple based Melga. Like, it sounds stupid to think about it this way, but like that deck is not always OTKs you and then you die. It has like the new Ice Wall Metal Garuru X and stuff like that. Like, it can build a more like defensive board. And one of the things I think is interesting with that is that like it did get Omnimon support that it can steal. Like, you can play it with counter timing, blast DNA, make Omnimon in your Melga deck, and like Miraculous Mega Knight is protection for your Garurumon from effects, which was the only thing it used to die to.
Yeah.
So like there are parts of this line where it's like, oh, you know, I could actually see them making something out of this. Well, I don't necessarily think it'll steal a full Omnimon suite of cards, but like Melga's cards are like, part of me, you know, a ban list is a real problem, and like losing Garurumon X was what made it so powerful. So like losing that hurt it. But I also kind of think there was some like blue new toy syndrome throughout the earlier parts of this year. Like, I definitely think post BT16, if you weren't playing a free type blue deck, what were you doing?
Yeah.
But like, now we've got Mirage back, and like Mirage doesn't necessarily want to try and out a Melga if it's got the kind of protection like that. And then the other thing is like, the mat beats, or like the new identity for Garurumon is that it beats Mirage, because it's like, oh my god, you added a card to my hand? Oh, thank you so much. I gain more memory than you. So there's some real silliness to that.
I'd be curious to see whether they actually can fit the unlimited purple Gabu, because like a lot of the old Gabumon still can't evolve over purple Suno, so you're like, to try and fit in the I guess not broken enough purple Gabumon, you lose a little bit of consistency on your eggs.
Yeah.
And even the pause.
You lose the blue stuff, but there are now enough, because of the BT16 set, there are enough Gabumons. Heck, you can even play I've got one here. You can even play the 17 Gabumon. Because he evolves over Sunomon. So there are enough Gabumons that evolve over Sunomon name that you can play Purple Suno. And then because of Garurumon from 15 and from the starter deck, there are also enough Garurumons that go over Gabumon. That like you could do it just purely on name the way Greymon does it now. But like, will they? We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, training evolve into BT5 Garurumon, then gain 1 memory is still deeply offensive to me.
Yeah. It'll be funny to see what training they play. That's my other thought. It'll be like, is it a purple deck that plays some blue level 4s? But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Gabumon is going to be, like I said on the other reveal the other week, that I was like, oh, you know, it gets better, but I don't necessarily think, like, the opportunity cost is just too high. Unless there's like a real Melga fiend that figures out that it's actually a great anti-meta pick and will beat Mirage and Imperial, which I don't think any stack OTK deck really consistently beats Imperial. I think that's kind of why it's so good. But if there is a way to do that, like maybe the Ice Wall Melga to just be like, no, don't swing, stop that.
No,
maybe that works.
Fighting. Pretty much gender be like.
But yeah, I don't know. I think Melga is better, but probably not good enough to hang with the other blue dogs. It's a shame about like some of the other like VT16 EX6 stuff that just like this ban list doesn't like outright neuter, but we would have hoped it would have brought them more into relevance. I believe in Sylphimon. I think like Yolekari Sylphimon is like kind of legit. I think it has like partition is that good that it means you still have an overall favorable Demon Lords matchup. But like, no, it like beats the heck out of Magna. It's just solos Magnamon.
Yeah, but
okay, like Magna's like tier 2.
I don't know. I don't think it's tier 2. I think it's a little better than tier 2.
I think it's better than that. But like now that you're not trying to snipe Armor Vaccine as often, you are playing against the blue Armor Andes that like they don't care. I don't know. I think it's interesting. I will never hate on any of the DNA decks. I think they all like you said, partition is a hell of a drug. And also DP minus, like specifically into other DNA decks, like DP minus is a very relevant thing to have in the mirror. But obviously now with Primo existing for, I mean, technically I guess it works in what, like all of the DNA decks, but like realistically the only ones running it are Imperial. So now you
I don't
actually
think you can ignore the color requirement with Primogenitor either. That's the thing. So it's like you have to have blue green.
I don't remember. But
the only two that ignore color requirement are the hybrid one and Omnimon.
Okay.
Oh no, Omnimon doesn't either. What am I talking about?
Yeah, okay. So yeah, you can't ignore color requirements. So realistically only Imperial is going to be playing it. So I guess versus Imperial, now you actually do have to make sure that your shrink is high enough that it will kill the partition bodies, as well as the thing that the Pyledramon can evolve into, or the Dragon Mode can evolve into, which is deeply unfun.
I don't know. I don't necessarily think it's going to be like the greatest deck in the whole format, but like part of what made last format weird is that like the things that beat the good decks were getting gatekept by Numemon and Ukomon. It was very BT12 where it was like you can beat Veilzwan or you can beat Hunters, pick one.
Yeah.
This is that getting less severe, I think. So the decks that now are good into those things don't just get mollywopped by everything else.
Marcia, what did you think of bugs during the testing week?
Oh, like today?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, yesterday. So I'm basically like, there's like a couple new things. Give me 1 second. So, okay, yeah. I was looking at basically like a skeleton. So if we're talking about like BT17, the main thing about like Bugs is that like it lost some of its good matchups. Like Bugs loved playing against like Numemon. That was like you had like a very, very good Numemon matchup. And the idea was that like, you know, you'd play a couple hard matchups, but then you'd get rewarded by like an easy matchup into Numemon, right? Imperial is very tough now. And so is Mirage. Like Mirage, they just don't interact with you. And, you know, I'm saying this as if like, you know, I interact with them, but because like I'm unaffected, right? Like, two sides of the same fucking coin. Like we don't interact with each other. And Ancient Guru, I think, is fine because like they have to swing, and like sure, you're adding security to my hand, but you're never killing me. Like they don't generate enough attacks in a turn, especially like on the red base. Like you kind of farm the red base because like it's even worse for them. They have like some tools to deal with you, like Heaven's Judgment if they choose to, but generally Tyrant I think is favored into Ancient Guru. So recently, I'm breaking the. When is the pot? Are we live? We are live. Do I want to leak sauce?
Wait till next weekend.
When he comes back, he's like, "We won the 3v3 because I withheld this."
Andrew's team would know. Are you going to the 3v3, Tom?
I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
I can't. I didn't manage to find a team, buddy. I might show up just to watch, but like.
Are you playing? That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. You know.
He has 45 minutes before this joke doesn't make any sense.
I mean, I don't really give a shit because like it doesn't matter. So basically, what I didn't come up with this. This was just basically something that I saw on the Discord.
The llama again.
And then I was like, what? Was
it llama again?
What? No. I did pitch it to him though. It was I did pitch it to like the Tyrant circle that I trust. Because I saw the idea on the Discord, and the idea is Cherubimon.
Okay.
So basically, the flowchart goes like this: you go Tyrant to play on the unaffected Kabuterim on the dual color one, and then because it's an unaffected level 5, you now have free reign to put Cherubi on top of that. And what the Cherubi does is that it functions as like another part of the toolbox that Tyrant usually has access to by playing out 4s and 5s, but Cherubi can play out 3s and 4s on the opponent's turn. So for example, against decks like, let's say, like Mirage, right? If they try to swing with the Mac Gaugamon, they don't have any DP gain. Like modern Mirage lists just don't play DP gain. So if they swing a 5 to become unblockable or unredirectable, you Cherubi them, and then 2 bodies on board is perfect -8. Against the Imperial specifically, what it does is you already playing Pomumon, so you go Cherubi into Pomu. If they swing at 5, they get punished. If they're not swinging at 5, then they're losing out on a ton of damage, which lets you then catch up. At which point you can hard drop the Cherubi, and then you effectively have any amount of DP necessary to just delete their stack. Because you can do like -12 relatively easily. So it's pretty good. Other things like you can play like promo Kuagamon to stop like things unsuspending. You can play Kuagamon if you need like a power pump plus DP minus. So like against, say for example, a ridiculous deck that would want to like alliance, right? Like they're trying to alliance over your stuff, like the Rugamon.
Like SOC. I heard that's a tough matchup.
It is. I'm trying to fix it.
Yeah, I was gonna say just they kill all your Izzies and then you're just dead.
Yeah, the Izzy is fine because I have the redirect no matter what. Like the Izzy, I'm just using it for the memory. But against something like Dorugoramon, if they alliance to go to like the 20k thresholds or whatever, or just even if it's like slightly bigger than me, the Cherubi plus the Kuagamon means that I'm getting always like an 8k difference. Sorry, 8 from DP minus and then +4, so it's like a 12k differential. Which like is always enough for them to get deleted, especially if they're swinging on a Dex body. Like if they're swinging on
they can't float.
And also like playing out Pomumon and shit like that. It does like a lot of things. I tested it at locals. I'm pretty sure Andrew's team knows because Harry's a fucking idiot and was just blabbing away, giving away my sauce.
This is what happens when you're not on the same team. He is actively out to get you. If he can't snipe your run in bracket, he's gonna make sure.
Yeah, but basically, like, I'm trying to push the idea of Cherubi. Now, there's some people that are like trying to push Kokomon and being like, but the draw, bro. And I'm like,
what Modimon?
They're playing like Kokomon with like a Digizor package, but
what the hell?
You're like a reactive control deck. You're not going to win by having a Tyrant with no ESSs because you spend...
That's ridiculous.
It's like, sure, you make a quick Tyrant, but your Tyrant does fuck all. You're more reliant on like Izzy's and stuff.
It's an interesting concept though, because you like Digizorp up to Tyrant play Meta Life, and then your second stack has the Inherit. Like,
yeah,
it's not bad, but
it's not bad. But you're sacrificing like the best thing that the deck has, which is the promo Kabuterimon. Like, that card single-handedly like is keeping Tyrant's viability alive on a fucking shoestring, because like against decks that would normally like ruin mode you, or like any deck that can like 10k minus ruin mode, you can just raise up 5 and then just be like, oh, I'll evade, and then I'm unaffected. And then you still.
It is so good that it does that.
Yes.
Like, the first time I saw like, the sequence, the DV minus, to be like, I don't care anymore.
I did that
insane.
Kalem on Wednesday minus 10 me, and I raised, and then I just did that to him, and I won the game on the spot because I just have that. That's the other thing. It's the burn from the
Inherit
from the Mega. Yeah, it helps a ton. I'm debating whether or not I want to play more piercing ESSs, because I have to give up. I'm having to give up Hercules to fit the Cherubi. Like,
is there a generic piercing that you can give out?
Yeah,
not until Muchomon.
I have no. There's the Quagga X. Quagga X gives you.
Piercing. Oh, I thought you meant not a little one though. Not like a splashable piece.
Yeah, not a spot. Well, for Tyrant specifically,
X in bugs is fine though.
Yeah, Quagga X is fine, especially because we're back on the promo as well. Like the promo Quagga helps for the DP. Like, you oddly need DP again, because like before, the theory with Tyrant was like, I need to make Tyrant as fast as possible with like as much efficiency as possible to beat Numemon. But now it's like, I just need to make a very robust Tyrant. You still lose to options, like that's never going to change. Yeah. But it's just for like odd decks like Ragna. I just need a few things.
Yeah, I'm just looking like there's there's just really no like generic give piercing. Like, there's so many like generic give security attack things, but like
the thing is
Pierce is kind of crazy.
Yeah,
Lightning Blade is like a premium, right? Like,
Lightning Blade, Hell's Masquerade, Al's generics, like they're all like really awkward. Like, you'll get Night Device soon, but like when do bugs trash Night Device from their thing? Like, you really don't have generic piercing, which is probably for the best.
Nah, yeah.
Wait, is Tyrant an X antibody? I can't remember.
No, he's not.
He's not. Okay.
There is a Herc X who is a separate thing.
All right.
That card is poo poo pee pee. It came out too early. If the card came out now, the card would be amazing.
It would be so good.
It would be scrumptious.
If suspended, your opponent can't promote.
It would actually be very scrumptious.
In terms of like other stuff, I mean, Bugs, I think, is a deck that like a lot of, I mean, we talked about this on the show. It's like green players are looking for the thing to do. Now that they, like, if they didn't click with Alliance or they don't click with Terriermon, like, they're waiting for something else. The Bugs players have had their time waited for a while, so happy to hear it's going to do something. I think there's also decks that get better linearly. My like candidate for maybe the biggest jump in the tier list is Fenrir. Like, not just SOC stuff, like actual Fenrir, maybe Takazuki, Takamika, maybe just regular. I think that deck goes from like, it's kind of like tier 2 to like, oh yeah, this is like a top 10er. Like, I personally would put it top 5.
I think Takamika
is just so well positioned to murder you.
Yeah, the thing about Takamika is that like it probably hated Numemon because it just like wasn't fast enough. But against like all the other decks, like Imperial's not gonna kill you. You also like you don't play the game until like you go, and at that point, like it's the kind of deck that it makes people play around you. You can just do for the most part the same game plan all the time.
With I forget with Takemika, do you have to play it differently to how you play Fenry, or can you do Fenry and if you don't kill them, Takemika?
It's way worse to play it like a backup plan. Like the deck functions better by saving all of your resources, because like, you know, it's a DNA, you're resetting all your inherits. So by missing the inherits, you can't keep turn, because if you're not playing BT7 Fenrir, you don't get to hold the turn when you set the 3. So
it's the main thing is that like your Fenrir is different, which means that like you don't get to swarm with the old one, and then like you have to play Kazuchi, which is effectively like a dead card in hand. Like you want Kazuchi in the trash all the time.
Oh, you need Kazuchi in trash? I thought it was you
need Fenrir summons Kazuchi from trash, then Takemika DNAs from trash if you played Kazuchi.
Right, so it's 2 garnets that you need to...
they're not garnets. They're really easy to move around. That's the crazy part. The thing about the deck that like conceptually makes it situationally better post ban list is that one of the things that beats it is ruin mode. And like Demon Lords is still super real, but like Demon Lords doesn't like playing against OTK decks anyway. The ruin mode in question that is gone is that they don't have to worry about Numemon floating platinum making ruin mode every turn. And without that threat of like a turn 3 ruin mode, they are more readily able to promote Luga pop off. So, dude, that Kazujimon is so tight. I'm just gonna get my hope out and say Pulsemon is another deck that gets better, just so I could like talk about Pulsemon more. I can't wait for the Exermon promo. I need to pick mine up. I kind of believe in that. The lock is really solid.
Wait, as in.
The promo one. Yeah, it locks Tamers.
When did you roll it only?
Yeah, it is. It's the one you evolve over the first Pulsemon, you lock a Daiken, and then you like full send.
Sure. It's just annoying you can't play it off of Climbon, which is kind of like doo-doo.
Yes, that's like the main thing. Yeah. If this card had an on play, it would be amazing. If it had an
on play, they'd be giving it to bugs at the same time, and I don't think they did that on purpose.
No, give it to me. I'm testing it right now. It's actually not bad.
It's a good bug card.
It gives me more suspend. Like I think one of the issues. I'm fucking gamer. I was like sliding out of my chair. One of the things with Tyrant is that it sometimes can lack consistent ways to like suspend things, and having another form of suspend on a when Digivolving is pretty good. And I can also interact with Tamers, which Tyrant doesn't. Well, that's not true. We have
Granku.
We have Granku, but like sometimes I want to suspend like a defensive Tamer, or like I don't know, locking a Tamer can also be pretty good. Like if you're at 3 or lower, it's pretty useful. The main thing is actually it's
inherit crazy.
When it suspend.
It's very good for Tyrant. I was testing Climbon for back to bug theory, because all I fucking do is theory bugs. The thing with Climbon, not the purple one, the green one.
God.
So the green one, in an ideal world, turn 1, right? You can go like 10 to in the back plus whatever. And you can raise, suspend something, evolve into the Kabu, beat over, and then climb on to bounce another body, so you could like 2-for-1 your opponent. That was something that we did in like BT15. The main thing was its ESS, because it's when it becomes suspended, you suspend an opponent's. That would let you beat like the forced combat Dorogreymon shit.
This is your turn only though, unlike Exermon.
Yes. Exermon, on the other hand, it can come up for like a few things, like collision randomly. Like if I have an unsuspended body, I can use it for collision. But it's also that like the problem with Tyrant is that your 5s are like your best ESSs. Like if your 5 is this, it means that like on follow-up turns, that stack is significantly worse. So Exermon does sort of like the same job, just at level 4. And your level 4 ESSs are good, but they're not like, oh, I need this to play the game. Like a lot of the time your level 4 slots are dedicated to DP. So it's like, yeah, sure, you have a slightly lower DP Tyrant, but your 5s are better. So I'm testing the Exermon as well.
Card is tight.
Yeah.
Shout out to Pulsemon cards. They're all cool.
Cards. Yeah.
They're all cool, chat.
Yeah, very, very cool.
Even like Stingmon, I still can't really let go of Stingmon.
The one.
I'm like, but it costs 1 though, like 1 cost Evo, it's kind of nice.
I was testing some stuff on DCGO this week, and one of the decks that I had been messing around with that I've been having fun with is D Brigade. I mentioned before that I think like D Brigade was struggling from a format that was aiming to counter it, but if people are cutting Crimson Blazes, D Brigade gets better. And in a world where everyone's like, finally, there's no more Swarm. Oh my god, why did they hit me 9 times? It has some real tools. I maintain still to this day that an actual D Brigade list is stronger than like a Digi Police. Like Oriyumon is just such slow garbage.
Yeah.
Except if you do the Takumi thing, haha. But like actually just going wide enough, like High Commandramon is a house. That card just sort of solves all of your problems. Being able to just like never stop developing your hand and board when you swing while you're in some cases protected, or like worst case scenario you're DP boosting because of the Commandramon inherits from 16, still very strong. And then the like real piece de resistance to me is that this got the Sealsdramon from 16. When we set reviewed 16, I said that card was bananas, and it's finally kind of gotten to its part where it's like, oh, the fact that it's a rush unblockable Digimon is obnoxious. Big fan. I think the other thing is like Brigadramon is just one of those guys where it's like having consistent access to it is good because it means that like you'll basically always have a position where you can rebuild on a board, and then playing around Mindlink is strong. Yeah, there's the Seals. He's tight, man. It's Gin's Rush can't be blocked, which is tight.
Good card. It's very good card.
The other one is just like, I mean, like the whole gimmick of like returning cards to the top of your deck is tight. DCD Bomb is also still in this deck, and like you can just obnoxiously harass things that can't play around options. If you're sick of losing to Imperial, DCD Bomb them. It's really good. I was doing that to like every Imperial matchup. This card immeasurably makes easier. Yeah, you can gain a memory if you DCD what's it called, a Paladin mode. So pretty tight. But yeah, that's my like fringe one. I feel like otherwise it's like, you know, the general contenders are like Ancient Greymon looks better, Armor still looks okay. Mirage looks amazing. Ancient Garurumon looks pretty solid. I don't think it's like the best of blue deck, but I still think it's in the top couple.
Shine probably goes up a bit.
A lot. I think Shine is pretty sweet.
Because like typically like against like Mirage, Shine will like Mirage can interact with Shine one time, which is like when they go into burst mode, and then you just prevent your guy from leaving the board. And like honestly, as a Shine player, especially if you're on yellow base, you don't particularly care about your hand getting filled up over time because like the yellow base struggles for card draw, so the Mirage player is actually helping you a little bit. Helps you see your pieces, and you have the burst mode. Like if they don't bounce,
if they can't out 17 and they get clapped out, they lose the game.
Yeah, you just burst mode them, but like ace burst mode.
Yeah, I think the last deck that we have to talk about generally for today and generally for the winners and losers of the ban list, we've not talked about the Omnimon deck. The Omnimon deck is still, it's still there. It's a slower deck, so it benefits from the Ukos getting hit. But
I think don't listen to these naysayers trying to ride the fence so they don't become a clip in a couple months. That deck is so much better post ban list. It's unbelievable.
Oh, 100%.
It's so much better. I
don't think anybody's arguing that. The thing is, like, you become better post ban list from like what, tier 3 to tier 2.
I think you're probably the bottom of tier 1. I think the deck goes from like gatekeeping. No, I think it goes from gatekeeping the like real fringe rogue stuff to like, have you played that matchup against Mirage? I don't know what they're supposed to do. It's truly unplayable.
That deck is so stinky.
If you have Miraculous Mega Knight, they actually can OTK you.
Okay,
you just sit there on War Greymon for 3 turns and they lose the game.
And then you queue into like default player A, Imperial player. You know,
everything loses to Imperial.
Do you know what doesn't lose to Imperial though?
What?
Let's talk about
yeah.
Is this Bing Chilling or is this Galaxy?
This is Bing Chilling.
Yeah.
Is this Galaxy, he says, playing none of the red Galaxy cards.
There's literally the tamer right there.
The tamer? Is that it? That makes it Galaxy?
I don't know. It was a quick glance. I think.
Yeah, so this is the new, like, format ruining Infinite Loop.
I don't care though.
Sayo and Co. probably should have had a little bit more text written on them.
Mirage should have not being a more than
again,
one.
the card wouldn't be doing that if you weren't making them skip their turn with Sayo and Co. But I get what you mean.
Yeah, both of them pretty egregious. Together, unstoppable. The idea for this is that you get a Galmon under a Lunamon, and then at the start of turn, you play out the same level as the Lunamon with the Sayo and Co, which plays out the Galmon. Both of you draw one. Mirage goes, you added a card to your hand. I'll be taking my memory back now. And you turn skip them and just straight Yada lock them until the game ends. It's deeply degenerate, incredibly funny.
Very funny.
And scrambles obviously make things easier because you can evolve for cheap, but like you don't even need scrambles to make this thing work.
There's also permutations of this list that I've seen. This is not that list, but there are lists I've seen where people play one Paladin mode Ace. And the idea is that you actually don't even have to start checking security. You can just undeck out yourself and let your opponent deck out.
Okay.
And just let them draw the 150 times. And there's no risk of any interaction if you do that. Which is stupid.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Really, really funny. If you have a bunch of these cards and feel like being public enemy number one, set up a tripod at your local and try and fiend at least one game off of someone and post it to YouTube. You shouldn't do this if there's not a camera in front of you, because then you're just straight up griefing your scene. But if you're griefing for content, that's different.
It's so hard to use Billy footage for anything because that app just hates using it, but or like hates being shared, hates being Discord embedded. But if we could get it on YouTube, that would be great.
There is someone that has actually done a YouTube mirror of, not mirror, but they've done like an actual, like, yeah, here's this for the English speaking audience that did not want to wrestle with billybilly.com. But yeah, big ups China. They don't even have most of these cards yet because I think they're in EX3, but they still, like, half of them.
They're getting caught up. They're getting caught up.
Yeah, but I think EX3 is the newest set that they've just gotten. So, but like half of them, because obviously it's just official. It's
wait, no, that can't be right. Sorry, there was a Chinese event like not too long ago that had like BT14 Padawans and stuff.
Really?
Yeah, because I remember there was like a whole thread about it. Like Huang was like, "Where does this app come from? How do they track data?" And it was like Numea Uko had like a 60% win rate. I'll try and find this.
Where is when day night? Like, yeah. ATX Eagle Gaming did. They call it Dog Walk, which is
Dog
really
Walk
funny.
Is a good name. I think Big Chilling. Yeah, Big Chilling is my pick, but that is pretty sweet.
Yeah, so they have basically something that goes through like how this works and the full combo. I'm not gonna full play it out, but yeah. Galaxy Loop was a thing that got emergency banned, so I'd be curious to see if this gets emergency banned or if they'll let it rock, because I don't know what the Euros and like qualifying events like that are still a ways off, so they might just let this rock and then hit it late, or they'll decide that not like people aren't doing it consistently enough. Because the Zuba loop was like easy, like that joint was easy. This still takes a little bit of setup. Like you need 2 tamers most of the time. You need like Mirage, and sometimes you're slamming Zudo just to get like quick up there, so it's not like you're going full loop a lot of the like full stack a lot of the time. So you need to see a bunch of weird pieces to make like to start the loop going. Then after that you do just end the game. So I'll be curious to see if this this starts seeing a little bit more representation. But yeah, if you want like an English version of how this deck works, ATX Eagle Gaming is the way to go, and the original one was a user on Bilibili. And follow Chaosmon134650 on Twitter. They're the Digimon, like they post a bunch of the results for China. Effectively, if you like DigimonMeta.com or anyone like that like posts results, this is the Chinese equivalent. And they are English speaking as well. So big ups to them. Thank you for sharing this heinous war crime to the game.
Very PogChamp.
But fellas, do we have anything else for this week's episode of the podcast? We're at 25 of these now.
I know, it's kind of wild. I hope people are enjoying it. This would be a fun chance for us to try and get like a pulse on the room, where we're trying to see how people feel about like the more chill, less scripted, segmented pieces of the show. Like if people are interested in like the kind of like listen in, hanging out version of this, like let us know. value the feedback. After you do like 20 something of these, it's good to check the vibe, see where everybody's at.
Check vibes, yeah.
Yeah, but also
like
please send me clips. Like, I know we're talking about, oh yeah, we can make this nice and chill, but I still have game shows that I want to run, and members want to run. For members, we do like bonus content after the podcast, or sometimes on different days. So if our clothes are different to the podcast that it's linked to, that's why. But we try and do bonus content. It comes out a month early for champions, or some of our champions have asked for Lethal Living to come back. So when we get a guest, when we get another guest back on, we'll do another Lethal or Living. I think the plan is for September to start actually scheduling some in. We got DigiDread is one of the people that we'll be having. But yeah, if there's any other content creators you want us to try and reach out to, or just people from Fanboy that you enjoyed having them back on, we'll try and have them in for another Lethal or Living. I'm going to post the link everywhere. So please, if you have clips to make my life easier so we can play a fun Will It Kill game show, please do that. But yeah, also let us know. Spotify does have Q&A and stuff like that. Apple Podcasts, I think, does. But just YouTube comments, just in general, tweet at us, follow the @MCRDTCG Twitter and tweet at us like what you like about the podcast. And we will take all of those responses on board and try and make the podcast better. It's nice to be live again.
I have one more shout out I'd like to make people aware of.
I like being live.
Being live is tight, and we can have people clip this and send it to their relevant heads of locals or tournament organizers, perhaps. If you aren't aware, December 7th and December 8th features the Digimon Card Fest in Utrecht. I know some casters that we should be getting behind microphones at those events. If you know anyone at any relevant European tournament organizing groups, or any particular like larger local scenes around the area, and would be interested in maybe giving us footage for those casters to try and put it together, be like, hey, look, we've done this, we know the players, we know the whatever. Anything you can do to help make people make noise about getting people behind microphones in December, we would love that. Don't harass people. That will we will be very unhappy with you.
Don't.
Yeah. That would be, you would be an omega dickhead if you did that. But make yourself known. If you're in, if somebody tweets something, like a single reply, like, I think these guys would be a good fit, would be a cool thing for you to do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's now that we're missing some of the Brazilian reply guys, pour one out. We need somebody else to fill in that niche. So Digital Gate Open's gonna come through. That's
hell
tight. So
yeah. So we are trying to go to Utrecht. At least for Cardfest.
Is it Utrecht?
They're both in Utrecht.
They're both in Utrecht?
Yeah.
They're both in Utrecht.
Yeah,
okay.
There's the November regional, and then there's the December
Cardfest.
Euros in Cardfest. So we're trying to go to the Cardfest.
Yes. My thing is, like, I would like to go to both, but realistically, like, we have Scotland in October.
Yeah, so we're going to just go to...
My guess is not going in November. You guys can go if you want, but I'm going in December.
Yeah, I'm going in December.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is going to be another successful episode of the pod. Streamed. We'll hopefully be streaming again next week. Usually probably at our evening time slot. We had some stuff to do, so we're busy. I actually have to jump off because Jade's about to go get her tattoo, and I'm trying to go with her. So we'll try and get Boko recorded on an adjacent day. Yeah.
Sunday.
Thanks to everyone for tuning in, and yeah, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Follow us on all the everythings, and
thanks for watching 25 of these.
Yeah.
Quarter of a century. Baba Boo.